So Sean Plunket in the weekend has been talking about, we are going to expose what Jacinda Ardern's job is next. I don't know if they even said take down, but the theme is we're massive expose. Now, we're not going to play all of this, but we're going to give you 3 clips. The first 2 clips are Sean just having so much fun with his audience, try and get them to guess what her job would be. So let's have the first 1 minute and 9 seconds, Joey.
Is Jacinda's new job working for Facebook or big tech? No. I've got to keep this going because I want to see what ideas you come up with.
Look at the smile.
Sean, is Jacinda's new job an advisor to Twitter? That's from John. No, and I think, I just want to say as an aside, I think one of the most interesting things, and in a very tiny way, my experience last week showed this, the woke leftists have lost control of Twitter. And that's why certain well-known lefty agitators and extremist trans rights agitators, including Sanjay Hatatua, have been busy blocking people all over Twitter and basically retreating from Twitter. Twitter is now a bastion of free speech. Crazy speech a lot of the time, completely off the wall, lunatic speech. But Twitter is no longer a place for wokeness where the woke rule. And of course, I was part of that battle. The fact they took me down with some algorithm and I was back up in 4 days, that tells you that Twitter under Elon Musk is a bastion of free speech.
Yep. All right. So there's 109. That's the first one.
Good Lord.
Now you get skip forward to 3 minutes 17. So one of the things I want to show you, especially if you just heard the conversation with David Fisher, is the utter joy that Sean Plunket has in these comments. The utter joy he has is exposing, Jacinda Ardern for the, and I don't know if he uses these words, but he's basically saying for the hypocrite, for the grifter, for the, all these things that are. So he's playing this game that he's loving with his audience, saying, guess what job she's got. So 317, this is going to 436.
Sean, has Jacinda's job got anything to do with... No, I can't read that out on air. Sean, Jacinda's new job has to have something to do with fish and chips, maybe an advisor to McDonald's. Cheers, John. Is Jacinda's job with the WF? Yeah, no, it's not. Is she buying fish and chips and finally learning about the real world? Jacinda's new job working for Meghan and Harry? No, she's left them to go and work for Wills and what's her name? Kate. Is Jacinda's new job a chairman to some board? Not that I know of.
So he's really building this up, yeah.
Saving whales who are transitioning into dolphins? No, I don't think that's her new job. This is fun. Sean, I don't care what Jacinda's new job is. Next, Andy. Oh, come on, Andy, work with me here. Is Jacinda employed as company for a lonely queen consort, like a Shetland pony? Oh, stop it. I'm not going to read that. She's working for King Charles. I don't think so. Off to BlackRock. Cheers, Rick. No, not as far as I know. Something to do with climate change? No. Is she joining Kate at the Disinformation Project? Well, they've always been in lockstep.
Okay, and then just scroll to 6 minutes 40. So you can see that Plunket's really building this up. It's a really, he's really having some fun with this. So I said 640 is next one. He's really having fun with this, right? He's really like, this is let's throw them out, let's reel them in, and then we're gonna knock them down with the news. We're gonna knock them down with the big news, Hey, the big news coming. So this is the big news, and I think the actual story was called something like "We Expose the New Job for Jacinda Ardern." So this is an expose by Sean Plunket. The expose, let's hear it. This actually goes for 4 minutes. So I apologize for all those people who are saying things. They want to, because you got to feel the sense. Talking to David Fisher about this, right? You got to feel the sense that this is not just a reporter or a journalist reporting a story. This is someone who is absolutely just having the time of their life, exposing the hypocrisy of the enemy of the state, and just having so much fun and joy doing it. Now, I might get you to stop a couple of times in here, Chewy. We might have to Sam C to this mofo, but let's go from 640. And we'll
she used to work, before she was Prime Minister, she used to work for Tony Blair. And Tony Blair, very populist, great communicating Prime Minister of Britain, basically launched that bad war in Iraq and everything with the Americans. Tony Blair has become a multi-millionaire. And you know how? By giving speeches. Ooh. Yes, Tony Blair hooked up with a group called Speaker Booking Agency in the United States, charging, well, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of New Zealand dollars per appearance. And he is now a multi-millionaire, largely on the back of his speaking arrangements. So how convenient that the day after her resignation and her valedictory in Parliament, Jacinda Ardern pops up as a speaker for hire, a mouth for hire with Speaker Booking Agency in the United States. Exactly the same outfit that has, Tony Blair on its books. So if you're near the internet now, if you can search and listen to us, Speaker Booking Agency, and search Jacinda Ardern, and there is, and this is what it says about Jacinda Ardern. Jacinda Kate Laurel Ardern. I didn't know about the Laurel. Basically says she travels from New Zealand. Her fee range is not specified, but I'm going to make a wild guess.
I bet you
Pause there.
I'm going to say that.
Okay,
this is great. This is my favorite bit.
Like every good journalist, the fee is unspecified, but I'm going to have a guess. Now, it's really important to hear this because by the end of this rant, his guess is basically what it is, right? You listen to how he changes his tune, right? From the guess to like, she's now earning it. This is what it actually is. So let's keep going, Joey.
That Jacinda Ardern will be charging $200,000 US at minimum per appearance. That's 400,000 New Zealand dollars a gig.
It's not, but anyway.
And you have to fly her to wherever in the world your corporate conference is being held, and you play her the lolly. So our Prime Minister, of course, she doesn't have to charge for her other work. She could make in a week a couple of $1 million New Zealand. She is on the same path as Tony Blair. And I'm just amazed that given that she's so open and transparent,
with a smirk,
she wasn't excited to tell John Campbell or whatever other gushers interviewed her, I'm really excited to tell you too, I'm going to cream it for the rest of my life. I am on the international speaking circuit. And of course she'll be in demand. Of course she'll be in demand. She is a world-renowned figure. She is loved by many overseas. And I'm not getting down on Jacinda Ardern.
No.
I mean, good work, honey. Work that international profile. Of course you can do this. There's nothing illegal about it. There's nothing immoral about it. It is what people who end up in this lucky position, socialists or not, it's what they do. And I say good on her for cashing in. But why weren't you a little more transparent in telling us about the great new gravy train you are now riding for the rest of your life? And a gravy train, it has to be said, based largely on your public service in New Zealand. Based largely on your public service in New Zealand. 400K seems expensive for a speech. No, 200 grand US, I'd say, would be her fee, and that converts to around 400,000 New Zealand dollars. That's one speech. Then there's the travel time, which I've got no doubt will be first class to wherever in the world that she is speaking. So this is bloody nice work if you can get it, and very few people can. This, in some ways, might be the most successful thing that Jacinda Ardern has ever done, and it's a hell of a long way, isn't it, from the fish and chip shop in Morrinsville to a 400,000 a gig or more. And I've applied. I was a bit naughty yesterday. I applied and said, I want to book her. How much will she cost me? We could all chip in at the platform and get an interview with her for $400,000.
All right. I think we're done. I think the most hilarious thing about that is he was so fooled by this obvious hoax. On this website, there was 2 dead Supreme Court people that you could book. He was so fooled by it. He interacted with it. Let me say this as well. All those people who were complaining about Chantel Baker, complaining about David Fisher being out by 3%, right? By 3% with her age, 29, 30. He's out by, what is that, 20%? 40 less 80, 10, 20. He's out by 20%. with his even his guesstimate. So that makes this whole thing pointless. Well, the whole thing is kind of pointless. But let me just say one more thing, and I wrote this down. He says this of Jacinda Ardern: a gravy train based largely on your public service in New Zealand. Mr. Plunket, your fucking gravy train right now is based 100% on the money you earn as a public broadcaster in New Zealand. The $3 million gravy train you're on from Mummy and Daddy Funder is based on your public service as a broadcaster at RNZ, and primarily at RNZ, but also Fair Go you can throw in there as well for profile. So go fuck yourself. There's the first thing. The second thing is, who the hell cares if someone leaves politics and goes and has speaking engagement? What's the big deal here, Chewy? Let's get to the second part of this conversation. Everyone knows what's coming, but do you want to, that's the first time I'm assuming you've heard this, because I think we're the only people in the country that probably have got this. Maybe spin-off, is it?
It's the first time that I've listened to essentially the whole thing. And I mean, this surprises no one. God, he's a smug prick, isn't he? Just the whole time. Just slimy, you know. Oh, but I'm not down on Jacinda. I'm not down on her. I'm not bagging her. Of course you are. Everybody can see that. Your listeners, your fans can see that. We can see it. You talk about transparency, we can see right through you, mate. But also someone that has worked in media for as long as he has. He is a veteran broadcaster.
Yep.
I looked at this website, and just as you've picked out, there are people that definitely are not engaged in speaking. It's a collection of celebrities, and everything is like, oh, please contact us for details. And it'd be like, oh, I'm sorry, that person's unavailable. Yeah, you've just put it on the website to pad out your roster. Of course you're going to put someone like Jacinda or Tony Blair on there, whether you can get them or not.
So, and I'm sure, there'll be agencies out there that would put faces up like Jacinda Ardern or whatever, which this is not the case. This is just a straight hoax, right? But if there was, and they might say, yeah, we'll book her for you. They'd say it's $500,000, and they'd go to Jacinda and say, well, we've got a $400,000 speaking fee for you. And they'd clip the ticket. Sure, that's possibly something that happens around the world. This is not that. And as Spinoff did at 3:00 this afternoon, no, Jacinda Ardern isn't joining the paid speaker circuit. Hoax. The former Prime Minister has appeared in an ad on a US-based talent website promoting one fringe media outlet to say, I didn't read that before. Oh, come on. Hey,
it's good, right?
Well, but hang on. The Spinoff did a full article about Sean Plunkett's new thing, and they gave him a massive amount of press. Why can they call them one fringe media outlet now? They've actually got an article in here talking about the startup of the platform. That I don't know. I mean, you've on some level they've kind of given them exposure. You can't really pull it. I feel uncomfortable with them pulling away from it now. But anyway, one fringe media outlet to say she's riding a great new gravy train, but Jacinda Ardern says it's not real. Now, I've heard through the grapevine, none of this is confirmed. It's an honest held belief. It is also an allegation that Jacinda's had lawyers involved. Now, I've heard that. I don't know that to be factual, but it's a comment that's come up by a few people. So after this came out at 3:00, I happened to be sitting in my studio, which is why I got that video, because I downloaded it immediately. I don't really want to help the platform, a fringe media outlet, but evidence that your staff don't know what the fuck they're doing is you put your apology out before you took your video down, you fucking morons. So the apology came out on Twitter, and I saw that, and I went onto thing, and it was still there. Now, I've just ruined getting any exposés in the future, but that just goes to show how ill-equipped they are. Certainly the staff there are. That's what happens when you hire 22-year-olds to do media. They put out a tweet that apologized, and then maybe 5, 10, 15 minutes later, they took the videos down. So this is what came out this afternoon on Twitter. The platform saying, could all who shared or retweeted a story ran about Jacinda Ardern having signed up to an American speaking site, please delete or correct it. The website was a hoax. Founding editor Sean Plunket accepts full responsibility for this error. And tomorrow with Sean Plunket, Sean's apology right at the top. Now, I don't have any idea if there's any legalities involved. However, it's a pretty prominent situation to put it at the top of a tweet and to be asking your listeners to actually stop talking about this, guys, stop talking about this, stop talking about it. The other thing, and I only know this because I grabbed some video footage, is that there's a tweet that's been removed as well by the platform bastion of free speech. Should I show you that one?
I think you must.
Okay, here it is. Sean, oh no, sorry. There's one other one. Sean Plunket, who talked about dopamine, who, when he wants to say something on Twitter, goes straight after people. At 7:25 p.m. tonight, for some, it's a random reason. There's no real reason behind this. Going to sign off for today. I think I might have been hit by a motorcycle. I wonder why he was signing off tonight. I wonder why Sean Plunket was getting off Twitter tonight, off all nights. Could it be that every tweet that they put out, every message that they put out, had a raft of what the fuck are you talking about? Now, this tweet was also deleted. And I have it because I recorded some video. I shared my screen and recorded it for the clip that you saw. If you haven't seen it, you should go have a look at my Twitter feed. And it said this. The platform did this. Well done, the spin-off TV. We was had bumpy old job, this journalism. No, Jacinda Ardern isn't joining the paid speaker circuit, the spin-off. Very light-hearted. Very like, oh, this is all journalism. This is all journalism. There's no
who hasn't strolled into an online scam and smeared a former prime minister? Who hasn't done that?
That tweet no longer exists. They deleted it. I wonder why. Because it made them look even worse. Because all of the responses to it were like, hang on, what do you mean journalism? Journalism's not putting out there literal fake news. This fringe media outlet that says, wow, we call out the fake news, are the disseminators of the fake news. And I have to tell you, if you go and have a look right now on Twitter and you put in, like Jacinda Ardern was trending, lots of those tweets don't say, oh, by the way, they were wrong. It just takes the initial accusation by Plunket and it's running with it. Yeah. So this is now going around the world in certain circles as fact, and it's not. And one wonders if the platform is a little bit concerned that some of business mummy and daddy's money, again, might be tied up in a court situation over a libel court case. Again, I have no knowledge of that, but it wouldn't be an unusual situation from here. What are your thoughts, Joey? That's all. I rest my case. My case is rested.
Yeah, I love it when. Oh no, I was going. Now I'm going to say the phrase. I'm not happy with it. I'll preface this. I love it when Sean shows his entire ass. Yeah,
I don't like that.
Maybe no, I don't like it either. I don't know why I did, but I think it's the combination of the smugness and the surety, the absolute rock solid surety that he'd cracked the code. That he worked it out.
Yeah.
Even when he says, oh, I'm just going to take a guess at the price and then go on, like, he was so sure. He was so sure. And then to rapidly have to try and put a Band-Aid on that open wound that it just opened. I mean, it's spectacular. Tomorrow's going to be amazing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because he's going to have to try and backpedal this and probably break some land speed records doing it.
And probably minimize it. That tweet that they sent out about bumpy old thing, this journal, that's minimizing it. I wonder if they got advice. Again, complete speculation that minimizing it's not the right thing to do. Absolutely, mea culpaing is the right thing to do. Maybe that was it. I just think look, I mean, you could hear David Fisher, our Herald journalist, when he joined us earlier, talking about he feels a bit sorry for Plunket. And on some level, anyone making a mistake like that and getting embarrassed, there is an element of empathy there. But I just go back to, and now that you've heard it, Chewy, just the absolute joy in his voice, the way he was speaking with absolute pompous, joyful, exposing the one that is the hypocrite. It wasn't journalism. And that's why I said in one of my tweets today, and I'm paraphrasing, but when your ideology or your distaste or dislike for a person is rated more highly than journalistic practice, this kind of thing happens.